everyone, welcome back to my class. In today's class, we are going to start a new lesson, and the name of our lesson is Excretion, the Wastage Disposing System. In this lesson, we are going to discuss about how the waste is produced, what kind of waste is produced, and how the waste which is produced in the bodies of plants and animals is going to dispose or it is going to excrete out of our body. So when we see a factory, there are some kind of productions which is taking place inside the factory, and during the production of the product, some waste material is generated, and that waste material which is generated during the production of the products needs to move out, or it needs to remove out of the factory, and the waste may be in the gaseous form, it may be in the liquid form, or we can see the waste in the solid form also. So the waste which is produced during the production needs to get remove, or it needs to be excreted out of the factory. Similarly, we can consider the cells which are present in our body with the factories. The human body is made up of millions of cells, and these millions of cells help in carrying out the different activities. So we can consider the cell with the factory, we can resemble the factory as a cell in our body. So as the production of the products takes place in the factory, in the similar way the cells which are present in our body also involved in certain productions, and the things which are produced in the body include energy. Energy is produced by the cells. After taking the food is converted into energy, so the energy is produced in the body. And also the digestive system helps in break down the complex molecules into the simpler one, and that simpler substances which are broken down into the simple one by the digestive system is going to send, or it is going to move to the different kinds of cells which are present in our body in order to carry out the different cellular activities. And the cellular activities, or the activities which are taking place by the cells, are called as metabolic activities, and the process is called as metabolism. In our body, there are many activities which are going to take place through the cells, and these activities are called as metabolic activities, and the process is called as metabolism. Now, which types of reactions takes place in our body? There are two types of reactions, and they are two types of processes, we can say. They are anabolism, and the second one is catabolism. Anabolism is an activity in which we can say the joining reactions, when the small molecules join with each other and it results in the formation of bigger molecules, and this type of reaction is called as anabolic reaction, or we can say it as anabolism. Whereas in the catabolism, we see the breakdown reactions where the bigger molecules are broken down, or the complex molecules are broken down into simpler one. This breakdown of the complex molecules into the simpler one is called as catabolic reaction or catabolism. This anabolism and catabolism together forms the metabolism. So these are certain joining reactions which is called as anabolic activities, and the breakdown reactions which takes place in our body is called as catabolic reaction or catabolism. In anabolism, we can take an example of joining or the combination of amino acids results in the formation of protein structures. When the one amino acid is attached to the other and then to the other, the chain of amino acids results in the formation of a protein. So this type of reaction is called as anabolism. And here in the catabolism, we can take an example of a breakdown of the food components or food material. When we take the food in, the complex materials or the complex substances of the food is going to break down into the simpler one, and then that simpler one is going to digest it by the digestive system. So these are certain examples that we can take under the reactions anabolism and catabolism. In these metabolic activities, some new products are formed, and along with the production of new substances, the waste is generated. So the waste which is generated during the production of the new materials inside our body needs to send out of our body, because when the waste material is accumulated for a longer period of time into the body, then it shows some effects or it disturbs the activities in the human body. So the waste material which is generated in the body body, if that waste material is going to accumulate for a longer period of time, then it disturbs the activity of the cells, it shows some effects in the body. To reduces that effect, the waste material which is generated needs to excrete out, or it should be removed out of our body, and the removal of that waste material is going to be achieved by a system which is present in the human body. So there is a need to export, excrete and removal of these waste material out of our body. The disposal of these waste material is carried out by a system which is present in the human body, and that system is called as excretory system. And the waste material which is produced in the human body includes some salts and water. Water is not toxic in our body, but if the excess amount of the water is accumulated in the cells, then it disturbs the cellular activities and it shows some problems or the effects in the human body. So this water should also be excreted out of our body. And the next waste material is nitrogenous waste like urea and ammonia. Urea and ammonia are toxic in nature. They are the toxic substances. So if they are going to accumulate in the cells of the human body, they show some toxic effects in the human body. To reduce that toxic effect, the nitrogenous waste needs to excrete out of our body, and these nitrogenous waste are produced during the breakdown of the proteins. And even carbon dioxide is a gas which is released as a waste material out of the human body. During respiration, the carbon dioxide is released out of our body, and in case of the plants, we can see that the oxygen is released as a waste material or as a waste gas. We know that oxygen is utilized by the plants during the process of respiration, but the remaining amount of the oxygen during the process of photosynthesis is released out of the plant body as the waste material. The disposal of these waste material is called as excretion. This word comes from the Latin word, and here the ex means out and crenia means shifting. So the excretion can be defined as the shifting of the waste material out of the body. Let us talk about excretion in the human beings. As I said you that the waste material which are produced in the human body includes water, some salts, urea, ammonia, creatinine and carbon dioxide. So these waste materials are produced during the different activities that are going to take place in the human body. And during respiration, when the energy is produced, so during the production of energy, some waste materials like water and carbon dioxide is released, and during the breakdown of the protein chain, some nitrogenous waste like urea, uric acid, creatinine and ammonia is produced. And among these waste material, the ammonia is more toxic when compared to the other waste material. So these waste materials, if they accumulate for a longer period of time in our body, then they show some effects. If water is accumulated in the excess amount and for a longer period of time, then it results in the condition of edema. And this edema shows the swelling of the legs. When the water is accumulated in the cells of the human body, then the swelling occurs, and that condition is called as edema. Whereas when we see the higher concentration of ammonia is present, or the higher concentration of urea is accumulated in the different cells of our body, it leads to some other problems in the human body. Along with these waste materials, some pigments like bile pigments and urochrome are also released into the cells, and the medicines which we are taken in, they detoxify in the liver. So these substances needs to excrete out of our body. So the disposal of these waste materials out of our body is helped by a system, or it is going to carry out by a well developed system in the human body, which is called as excretory system. And this excretory system is composed of kidneys. The kidneys are the excretory organs which helps in carrying out the excretion process of our body. The human excretory system is composed of a pair of kidneys, and these kidneys are bean shaped, and from this kidneys the two tubes are arises which are called as ureter. The left kidney shows a tube which is left ureter, and the right one shows right ureter. And these tubes are going to open into a sac like organ which is called as urinary bladder, and below the urinary bladder, a passage is shown which is called as urethra, and through this urethra the urine is moved out of the body and it is passes out of the human body. So this is about the parts of the excretory system. Let us see one activity, and to do this activity we need a goat kidney, fresh goat kidney, tray, water and blade. Now put that goat kidney in a tray, wash it thoroughly with the water. After washing, observe the external structure of the kidneys of the goat. The goat is a mammal, so the kidneys of the goats are similar in structure with that of the kidneys of humans. So when we observe the external structure of the goat's kidney, we can observe or we can see that it is also a bean shaped kidney as in the human beings. And after observing the external structures, now to know the internal structures, we can do the longitudinal section of the kidney with the help of a blade. You need to do the longitudinal section of the kidney only under the supervision of your teacher or elders. So after the longitudinal section, we can clearly observe the internal structures of the kidney. As I said you that goat is a mammal, the kidney of the goat is similar to that of the human's kidney. So here we can see that the two kidneys are present in the human body. The right one is lower when compared to the left one, because the right side liver is present and the space is accumulated by the liver. Therefore, the right kidney is lower in position. We can see some fissure or hilus here, and from this hilus or fissure, the blood vessels are connected, and these blood vessels include renal artery and renal vein. The function of the renal artery is to carry the oxygenated blood to the kidneys for purification of the waste material, and the renal vein carries the deoxygenated blood. So these blood vessels are connected to the kidneys through hilus or fissure, and from these kidneys we can see the two tubes are rising. As I said you before that these two tubes are called as ureter, and the sac-like organ is called as urinary bladder, and the passage is called as urethra. So the urine is passed after the purification of the blood, the waste material is passed from the ureter, it reaches to the urinary bladder and then passes out or it excretes out through urethra. When we talk about the length of the kidneys, then it is measured as 10 centimeter and the width of the kidneys can be taken as 6 centimeter. So these are the measurements of the kidney, and the kidneys are reddish brown in color. As we have studied before that renal artery helps in carrying the oxygenated blood to the kidneys. The oxygenated blood when reaches to the kidneys, it contains some waste material in it. So the waste material are toxic in nature, so they may show some poisonous effect in the body, and the purification of the blood is taken place inside these kidneys. After the purification, the blood reaches or it pumps to the heart through renal vein. Now we are going to study about the internal structures of kidney. Let us see the internal structure of a kidney. When we do the longitudinal section of a kidney, then we can see this type of structure where the outermost reddish brown part is called as cortex and the central part is called as medulla. And this medulla shows some coiled thread-like structures or fiber-like structures, and these thread-like or fiber-like structures are called as nephrons. The nephrons are the functional units of a kidney. So the purification can be done through these nephrons. Actual purification of the blood is done through these nephrons. So these are called as functional units of the kidney. And we can also find the renal artery and renal vein, which helps in passing the blood to the kidneys for purification, and we can see a ureter is present which helps in sending out the waste material. And each human kidney shows 1.3 to 1.8 million of nephrons. As the purification of blood is done through these functional units of kidney called nephrons, so we need to study the structure of nephrons in detail in order to understand the mechanism of urine formation. So in the next class, we are going to discuss about the mechanism of urine formation and also the structure of nephron. Thank you.